Welcome to Cavallotto Studios. I'm Chris. Today we will focus on the iliotibial band, commonly known as the IT band, and how it can affect the knee. It is a tendon that runs along the outside of your leg, connecting the pelvic bone down to the knee. The TFL, or Tensor Fasciae Latae, is a small section of muscle that transitions or merges with the IT band. Then you have the Gluteus maximus that attaches in an opposing direction. The IT band is affected by how the TFL and the glute function. Weak glutes and tight TFL can cause a strain on the IT band. Now that you have an idea of what these areas look like, you'll need a tennis ball and a foam roller. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to talk about IT band today. So I'm going to use this band to explain a little bit about the IT band and the connection, just super brief, and then we're going to get into rolling. So you think about your IT band right here, and it connects down through the knee, and it connects up into the hip. It actually goes right up into here, the TFL. So when you're moving, that TFL, which is right up here in front, is super tight, and it can pull that IT band out of really tight, and which pulls that knee out of alignment. Or you get inflammation down here, right around the knee area, and you're just like, oh man, and then we try to roll the IT band, and then you're just in pain in everything. So we're gonna work on that, and then our glutes get really weak, so it's not pulling, and the front is pulling against the back, and we just become a big mess. So now that we know on that one, we're going to come all the way down to our mats, and we're going to start out with the tennis ball. All right, so I'm going to move my roller out of the way. So I'm going to have you lay down. I'm going to start on my left side, and you're going to lay all the way down onto your left side, and you're going to bend your left knee right at the hip. So right where that crease is, where the knee is bent, you're going to plug in that tennis ball, and then you're going to drop that left knee to the floor, right on it. My right foot is bent, and the knee is bent, and the foot is on the floor. So we have a little maneuverability, and you're going to just rock gently on and off that tennis ball. So you're getting up into that TFL. You might have some spots there. It might be a little tender because it's so tight. So TFL is Tensor Fasciae Latae. And I'll tell you my little secret for remembering that is every time we drink a latte, Tensor Fasciae Latae, goes right to the hips. So it's an easy way for me to remember what that means. So now I want you to lean onto that tennis ball. If it's not too painful, if it's too much, take a little pressure off. Try to straighten out the left leg and bend it. Straighten and bend. And make adjustments if you need to. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. So you can see that tennis ball right there, getting into that TFL. And then you're going to bring that tennis ball a little bit lower, and you might have to rock a little bit. There's a bone right there, so I want you to go a little bit below it, and you're going to go, you're not on the side of the leg, it's more to the front, so we're getting a little bit of the lateral side of that quad, and you're just rocking onto it. So you're in front of that IT band, right in front of it. And then you're going to roll off, and I want you to bend the knee again, bring that tennis ball back up to where you were. So take it out, and then you're going to rock on and off of it again. That knee is bent. Now you're going to bring the knee, I lost my tennis ball. Bring the knee up and down. Now you might have to hold the tennis ball in place. Just a gentle rock. Almost there. Last one. Good. And then go ahead and come all the way up. And we're just going to switch sides. So let's try the other side and notice the difference. So I'm going to drop onto the right, my right hip, Drop my head on, support it, bend that right knee. So you want to get that tennis ball right into that spot where your leg bends, but towards, so you can lay on it. And then you're going to drop onto it. And again, depending on your pants, if mine are a little, my leggings are a little slippery. And then straighten and bend that right leg. So that left leg is on the floor, the foot is there for support in case it's too much. So I've kind of lifted my body a little on top of that tennis ball to get a little deeper into that. So you're not on the bone, you're like right in front of it, in that meaty part, right where the knee, the hip bends. Couple more, you can slide that leg, and then rock gently on and off of that tennis ball. Try to smile while you're doing this. Can be a little sensitive. So that TFL, remember, it transitions right into the tissue, changes into that IT band, iliotibial band, and everything is connected. We always talk about that. One more rock, good. And then readjust. This one you might have to hold that tennis ball and just pull that knee up and down, off the floor and back down, rocking and rolling it. One more, and then we're going to come off of that tennis ball. Go ahead and sit yourself all the way up. Set the tennis ball to the side, and now we're going to get our foam roller. So we're going to bring it behind us, and I'm going to give you at the end a fabulous IT band stretch, and it's really going to stretch it all out. So let's pop up on our roller, and we're going to do a glute roll. I want you to just warm up the glutes, and we're going to also, I talked about the glutes being a little weak. So our IT band tight, tissue that doesn't move very easily. TFL gets very, very tight and pulls that TFL at the very top and causes issues at the bottom. The glute can become weak. So we're going to do a little exercise to see how strong your glutes are, and you can practice it. Go ahead and cross your left ankle over that right thigh. Or if you're on the other side, cross your right ankle on the other thigh. Just enjoy rolling that whole glute. Notice if you have any trigger points. One more time, and then we're going to uncross, and I want you to just switch sides. So go ahead and switch to the right, and we're going to roll that right glute all the way up and down. And you're breathing, go ahead and cross that right ankle over the left thigh and roll that right glute. And also when that gets tight, connecting into that hip flexor, whole nother class going up into that hip flexor, they can contribute to the rotation of our hips, getting things out of alignment on the low back as well. Or just rotating. One hip might be tighter than the other, and the hips rotate instead of anterior posteriorly, internally or externally. One more roll on those glutes, and then we're going to release that leg. Excellent. So now you're going to go ahead and lay on your left side again, slide the roller out of the way. And we're going to lay all the way down and get comfy. So what I want you to do is bend the bottom knee and slide it back so you're straight. And we don't want the knee in front of the hip. You're going to straighten out your top right leg. Flex your foot, and I want you to just lift it up part way and see where your body is. If you're rolling forward, straighten it out. If you're rolling back, try not to move the body, and then lift your leg up a little higher and pull it backwards. And feel what you have going on. And then lower, and then lift again, up and down. And as you lift, pull that leg back just slightly. So we don't want to be pulling it forward, we want to pull it up and back. So you're working that glute, that leg raise. So we want to strengthen the glutes And that helps keep our alignment a little better. And you might even feel a nice stretch through the front. One more. And then you're going to hold it up and squeeze that glute. Lift and hold. Don't forget to breathe. Excellent. Go ahead and hug that right knee into the chest. Give it a squeeze. Pull that knee towards the floor in front of you. And then we're going to switch sides. Go ahead and release. Go ahead and turn to the other side. Lay down, support your head on your arm, bend the bottom knee. But remember, line up your hips so if you look down, you don't see your knee. The foot is behind you. Straighten out your top left leg. Now if you're rolling forward, find your center. You can use the top arm for support. I want you to lift part way up, halfway with that leg, left leg. Just notice what's going on. Good. Balance it out, lift a little higher, pull that leg back. And then down and up, and down and up. Lower and lift that leg. Just notice what things are taking over. Is your glute working? Are you feeling it? So that's good. Maybe it's not. Maybe you don't feel anything and the glute's a little bit weak. And you need to keep working it out and find some butt strengthening exercises. One more time, and then I want you to lift and hold. Squeeze that glute, slide that foot, just pushing it back slightly. And then bend the knee and hug it in. Oh. Curious if you felt that or not. Excellent. All right, then we're going to come all the way up. So this is all about IT bands. So what we're going to do now is we're going to roll the area around the IT band. So you're going to be doing circles with that roller. So I'm coming up. I'm going to go, you can be on your hand or your elbow. I'm going to actually drop to my elbow so I have a little more control. I'm leaning back slightly. So I'm not going to go directly on top of that IT band. I'm going to go a little behind it. And I'm just going to roll to the knee and then back up towards the hip. Knee and back up towards the hip. So my right foot's on the floor for control, just a couple times up and down. But we want to get on the front side of that IT band as well. So I'm going to go back to the middle. I'm bringing my right foot in front, and I'm rotating the body way forward. So now, as I showed you that, think of the band, we were behind it, now we're going in front of it. So you're getting more of the quad, lateral head of the quad. And slide forward and back. This area might be a little more tender in front of that IT band. All the way to the knee and then all the way back to the hip. It's good for the core too. Bonus. Strengthen that core. Use that strength. One more. Now if you want, you can make it a full circle. Rock yourself back. Go up and down, step forward, and roll up and down. So you're going in a full circle. You can go back, then roll forward, and go down. So you're circling around it, and you can go the other direction. Go up the front, slide back, forward, and you're working the upper body a little bit as well as you go around. I think we're done with that side. Shall we try the other side? So let's flip over. I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going right in the middle of that thigh. I'm on my right leg. My left leg is back. I'm leaning backwards. Slide your elbow forward so you can slide to the knee and then back up to that hip. Not directly on top of that IT band, especially if you're having inflammation or extreme pain around the knee. Let's try to avoid making it worse. Couple more times. Down and up, noticing the difference. When you get to let's go back to the middle, bring the foot in front, rotate the body forward. So you're now going on the lateral head of the front of the thigh, the quadricep. all the way up and down. And when you get to the top, you might feel something again. You might be getting close to the front part of that TFL that we were working with the tennis ball. All the way down, all the way up. Are we still smiling? Let's try our circle. So go top, bring the leg behind, slide it down, bring the leg in front, rotate forward, slide up the thigh. You can go the opposite direction, slide forward down the front, bring the leg back and up. You just get to get creative here. Circling around. One more. Excellent. And then we're going to slide up and go ahead and sit on the floor and straighten out the legs. Just shake them out. Just check in. You might feel some sensations, maybe some patting, like pat the legs, or you can rub the legs a little bit, getting that blood flow to the area. Check in down by that knee. How's that feeling? If you have tender spots, especially right here where it attaches, that inflammation, we don't want to dig in deep if it's inflamed, but you want to go around the outside, so behind it and in front of it. Super important there. Let's do an extra stretch here. So bring your right foot across, hug it in. So we rolled all that, stretch it out, go and bring your right arm behind you. We're not done yet. We're going to get to the quads, the front of the quads, and we're going to do this fabulous, again, IT band stretch when we're all done. Another breath. You want it to feel good. Now you're going to straighten out that leg. See if you can hold it up. Feel a little stretch, and then rotate the ankle. If it's hard to hold the leg up, here's a little option. Throw that roller at the bottom and put your foot on it and just rotate. The little twist, so just a little extra stretch. Or put it up on the wall. That works too. And then let's try the other leg. Go ahead and release the right, grab hold of the left, hug it in, give it a stretch. So remember, every time you roll, you want to make sure you throw a stretch in there to get that tissue. When we hold the stretch, we're getting the tissue hydrated. And nutrients and all that good stuff is going in there. Science is telling us that. I'm just not making that up. There's so much science and research on the fascia now. It's so fascinating as it's new stuff is coming out all the time. I mean, you wiggle your toes and you're affecting the fascia in the shoulder. So it's pretty amazing. And then you're going to straighten out that leg and hold it up. Again, use that roller on the side or a blanket or a yoga block if it's hard to hold up that leg. Feels so good. Go ahead and release. All right, let's go to the quads. So back to the roller. We're going to do a plank on the elbows. You're going to bring the top of your quadriceps right above the knees onto that foam roller. Be gentle, arms on the floor. Let's roll. Now, the key here is to really relax your upper body as much as you can, and then let's try to relax our legs and roll yourself forward and back 1 inch. Pull the belly into the spine so you don't want to drop your hips and be hurting your low back. Hollow it out. Get a little extra core work while you're doing this. Forward and back. Now you're going to rock gently side to side. Very gently. And as you transition to the inside and outside edge of right above that knee, you might find some spots that are tender. And just be mindful of what you're feeling. If you find a spot on one leg, whichever leg it is, like say I have a spot on my right leg, right above my knee, I'm bending and straightening my right knee, or the left, or both. And then walk your elbows backwards 1 inch, and let's go forward and back 1 inch. Again, trying to relax. And with the quads, they can get really tight as well. And you saw, like in the picture, how it attaches and blends in. They all are attached and can affect that IT band. And then gently draw side to side. And we're not going all the way to the side where we're hitting that IT band, but we're just getting pretty close to it. Notice the difference on one leg and the other. Again, if you find a spot and you want to bend and straighten those knees, you can. And then walk the elbows back again. So we're just slowly moving up those thighs. Gently move the body forward and back. And we're going to do a great quad stretch as well. So hopefully your knees will be feeling much better after all of this. If there's any tightness or tension or discomfort in the knees. And if there's not, then your knees are just going to feel even better. You won't even know, like, whoa. Go ahead and rock those hips side to side. Rolling, rolling. Finding a spot, maybe bending and straightening those knees. Then we're going to walk those elbows back one last time. So you're just working your way to the top of the thighs. Maybe you had a spot and you want to go back towards the middle of the thighs. It's up to you where you go with this. You finish up where you want, and then you're going to rock gently side to side. You kind of have to do more of a knee bend towards the top of the thighs to get that whole area. And if you find a spot again, bend and straighten. You can do one leg, both legs. Maybe it's too much to bend and straighten. You don't have to then. Go ahead and slide off the back of that roller. Separate your knees, feet together. Bring the roller in front. We're going to do a child's pose. So melt the body forward. Stretch out the back. Stretch out the quads over the knees. Good. And then come all the way back up. So put that roller to the side. We're going to lay on our belly. All the way down. Bring your right hand under your chin. And reach your left arm back. And you're going to hold on to your left foot. Now from here, if you can't reach your foot, option to lay on your side and bring your left foot behind you. So you're still stretching out that quad through the hip and the knee. So while you're here, try to bring your knees together. Take a deep breath in, squeeze your glute, and feel that stretch through the front of the quadricep all the way up into that hip flexor. Now bring your foot, slide it just gently out to the side a little bit, outside of your glute, and then back in. Notice the difference on the knee. Bring that foot out and in. If you're not reaching your foot to feel that, just rotate I'll turn this way so you can see. If you can't feel that, just rotate the knee just slightly and the ankle, the foot on and off the floor. So you can feel the change in that knee. And if it causes pain, then obviously don't go there. One more stretch, pull that heel towards the glute. It's a great practice. It's a great stretch every day. Use a towel, use a yoga strap or a belt if you can't reach your foot as well. Go ahead and switch legs. So you're going to switch hands under the chin, reach your right hand back, grab hold of your right foot, and pull that foot to your glute. And breathe. Inhale and exhale. Think about squeezing that glute and notice the change in that thigh. So if you have weak glutes and they're not firing properly, other areas are taking over and doing the job. So that's how we end up getting injured or overuse injuries, because one part of the body is not doing what it should do. And then bring that foot out to the side, keeping the knee bent, and then back to center. Again, laying on your side with the foot behind you if you can't reach your foot. Keep on moving that. It should feel pretty good. One more stretch right to the middle. And then we're going to let go of that leg. Feels so nice. Go ahead and bring your hands next to your body. Slide yourself up to tabletop. Hands and knees under the hips. Drop your hips to the right. a nice gentle side, just stretching it out. So I challenge you to go back later on and practice that glute strengthening, the side leg lift, but keeping the hip. Go ahead and drop your hips to the left. You can do donkey kicks, things like that, on all fours, just working those glute muscles. Good, back to center. Now we're going to tuck our toes. We're going to walk ourselves up. We're going to do a great IT band stretch. So slide it back. Go ahead and straighten yourself all the way up. So if you need a wall for balance, feel free to use a wall. We're going to cross the right foot in front of the left. Take a nice deep stretch, deep breath. Stand nice and tall. All right, so both hands on your hips. I want you to gently push your left hip to the left. Push your right hand into your right hip. Soften the knees and feel that stretch all along that left side. And then you're going to come back to center. Now you're going to bring both hands to the floor. Soften the knees, let your head hang heavy. Now walk both hands to your right. Try to push your left arch into the floor. And breathe. You might feel calf, you might feel hamstring, but it's really a great stretch for that IT band. We're going to walk both hands to your left. Another little stretch. Push your hips to the right. And then draw your hips back to center. Walk your hands to center. Walk your hands up the thighs. Nice and tall. Open up that chest. Take your right foot and swing it around to the left on the outside edge behind that right foot, or right behind the left. Nice and tall. Good. This time, right hip, push it to the right. Push your left hand into that left hip. Just a little side bend here. Feeling that stretch. You might feel it all the way up into the obliques, the sides of the waist, because it attaches all the way up in here. And then coming back to center, reach for the floor. Let your head hang heavy. Check in with your feet. Walk your hands to the left. If you can't reach the floor, use a block. You can have your hands on the shins. Push your right arch of your foot towards the floor. And then walk your hands to the right. Shift your hips slightly to the left. And then back to center. And slowly walk your hands up the thighs. Place your hands on your hips. Unwind the feet. Bring them back to neutral. Bring the hands behind the back, open up that chest, soften the knees, and then bend the knees and push the knees side to side. See if you get any release in the ankles, like you're skiing. You can even do a little hand side to side, pushing the knees and the hips. Get a little more mobile. Take a deep breath in, bring the palms to heart space. Hopefully now your IT band is much looser and you're feeling better. Namaste.